So, you know how they say that be careful what you wish for. Well, today we sit down with Kim Long, who's the director of Doja's Psychological Services. And we talk about growth and we talk about the OIs of business and leadership. My friends, I say it every week, grab a pad of paper and pen. This episode is special. Not that the other ones aren't, but this episode dives into the growth of our company and how Kim puts it so eloquently, the OIs of that growth and how to navigate it. It's not linear all the time. We know growth isn't linear, but there are a lot of insights here and a lot of takeaways that you can use as you grow your business. Enjoy this episode. And also a reminder, if you are feeling the OIs of business yourself and feeling lonely and isolated, and would love to have people around you, people, like-minded people who get it, reach out to me. Contact info is in the show notes. Check out our Entrepreneur Inner Circle. You can simply come as my guest, check it out. We meet every Tuesday, and it is a great supportive environment. We'll hold you accountable. We'll talk strategies. We talk business. In any case, grab that pad of paper, grab that pen. Oi, is this an episode? Hi, I'm Marshall Stern, and I've spent over 35 years leading and growing multiple small businesses. I know firsthand the struggles of entrepreneurship, feeling isolated, lonely, overwhelmed, and feeling like you have to do it all by yourself. I've been through multiple recessions, and I have felt the highs and the lows. I've been there, and I get it. This podcast is here to change that. Every week, I will bring you straight talking advice, real-world strategies, and honest conversations about what it takes to succeed in business without the fluff, the gimmicks, or the sugarcoating. If you're ready to stop spinning your wheels and start making real progress, then you are in the right place. This is the Stern Truth. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Stern Truth, Business Unfiltered. And I'd like to introduce you to my amazing guest, Kim. How are you, Kim?
I'm okay. How are you doing?
I am doing well, thank you. I
love
like
how professional you sound.
Oh, thank you so much. Appreciate that. Thank you. No, thank you. All right, enough of those pleasantries. Let's get down and dirty with everything. Kim,
Excellent.
who are you? What do you do?
I am currently a registered psychologist in the province of Alberta. I have my own clinical practice, Doja's Psychological Services. Prior to that, I used to be a junior high teacher, elementary school teacher, and then before that, I was just trying to survive. And I'm a base brat, so I grew up military.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming on the podcast. Have a great week, everyone. We'll see you next week.
Excellent. I'm glad we answered all those burning questions.
It's actually amazing how many former teachers I meet that are now turned entrepreneur, business, this or that. And several of them actually have gone into like a private practice of some sort of, therapy counseling. It's quite interesting. And my daughter's actually going to be, I think I might have mentioned to you in our pre-chat, she'll be a teacher.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good. I hope she has all the support she needs because teaching has changed and Lord love them. I don't know how, especially through COVID, I don't know how teachers did it. So I still bow down to the profession. There's some amazing people there.
Yes, there is. Okay, but let's talk about you. Let's talk about you now. So tell me a little bit about your entrepreneurial journey into so you went from teaching, you said, to how did you decide to make this step and then to have this practice where you actually have people on your team?
I don't know that it was ever a conscious decision. Now it is because I'm in it. I think sometimes things happen by happy accident. So for me, my undergrad was actually in psychology. And then I went back to school for an after degree in education because I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I was inspired by my sister. And I grew up in a family of helpers. So I think I just knew I wanted to help people, but I didn't know how. And then I got over my own fear and went back for my master's in psychology. And that's how I ended up in this realm. And then how did I end up in business? I was working for a fantastic practice, decided to try going out on my own. And then over time, I saw how other provisional psychologists needed a site to learn at or to grow their private practice and they wanted support, or interns who needed supervision. And I'm learning better boundaries about if people say they need help. I don't just say, I'll lay down on those train tracks. Um, I'm being more purposeful now, but at the time it was like, you need help? That sounds like a great idea. Let's just try it.
Hmm.
So it turned into a happy accident because I always thought I was going to work by myself. And this is not a, I mean, you can do it, but it's so much healthier, I think, in this field to work with a team. So I've been lucky, but oi,
Okay.
lots of mistakes along the way.
All right. Let's talk about the oi.
Oh, the oi. Where do you want to start with that? Because yeah,
Well, like, oi, I've got this thing now. I've got these people, I'm feeding these mouths.
yeah,
Oi.
yeah. Oi. The oi didn't really hit until so COVID happened, and I went from receiving five phone calls a month to like five in a week. And I went, there's a lot of people who need support right now. We were coming up to the end of our lease at the other building. And so I'm like, if I'm going to expand, I need to expand now. Well, the first OI pressure point is I expanded without really thinking about a financial plan or how am I going to make sure the money is there? And I did it, I think 9 months before my lease was up in the other place. So I was paying a lease
Mhm.
in the space we're currently in, as well as a lease in the other space. So, you know, in a desire to help, and they don't teach us about business in school. I mean, teaching definitely didn't teach me about business, and psychology, they don't really talk about how do you know your mission statement? How do you know your ideology? What's your return on investment? Like all of those things. So, um, I think long story short, way too late. If I had to pick the biggest oi point is there don't appear to be a lot of resources out there for psychologists in private practice. A lot of the business resources that are out there are geared towards where you have like a product that you sell, and we're the product. That sounds really inappropriate, but we're the product. And so I needed to find resources that fit our ideology and what I want us to stand for, but also fit this kind of business model where you don't have to worry about inventory per se. So that's the umbrella OI.
Okay. So lots of ois, lots of oi,
Lots of OIs.
lots of ois. How do you build a team?
Yeah.
Let's go back to the oi about, okay, let's say this is the stern truth, right?
Yeah.
This is the stern truth.
Yeah.
They don't teach they don't teach entrepreneurship in any school
No.
except for maybe an entrepreneurship diploma program at a college.
Yeah. Okay.
Even in university, I don't know if they might have entrepreneurship 101. I don't even know if they do. They teach business, but they're not, this is like, we're talking feet on the ground, front line, cash flow, return on investment, COGS. Thought
They
they'll
don't
teach in,
teach that. They don't teach that in business?
they might teach that in business school to a certain degree. Okay. Like
Yeah.
COGS, like cost of goods and that kind of stuff, the accounting stuff. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. They'll teach what they call leadership, which is probably more management, more surface level. But
Oh,
so in college programs, so like in
yeah.
Canada, the college programs, yeah, they'll be more practical and they'll probably teach a little bit more.
Yeah.
But definitely in high school, no. I mean,
No.
like okay, this is a long time ago, but it was called general business. And
Okay.
even my kids had a business class, and it really all it was typing
Yeah, we had
and how
career and
to
life management. Like
yeah,
that's
how to write a letter, how to do a
yeah.
resume, how to adhere this and whatever, and your
Yeah.
signature. So, but most business owners start a business, and unless they've come from an entrepreneurial background, they don't really know what stuff
Really?
is. Yeah,
Wow.
I don't think you're alone in that.
That's frightening because it is terrifying to, I mean, it would be different for me if it was just me,
Mhm,
but feeling like I have a team of people that are relying on this ship to keep sailing.
mhm,
And we are also an educational center. So it's not just people that are getting an income, by working here. It's also people that are trying to finish their education. So, and if you miss out on a practicum, you can end up being delayed by a year, which means a whole other year of tuition and a whole. So I use sarcasm a lot, humor and sarcasm a lot, but I take that so seriously that sometimes it keeps me up at night.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. See, I love these conversations. They're organic because I don't have those questions to ask.
Yeah,
But you said it keeps you up at night. So there are
yeah,
always that keep you up at night.
absolutely.
What are the other things? What tends to keep you up at night?
Ooh, um, well, of course, the money part always keeps me up at night because that keeps the doors open, right? And it's an interesting mind kerfuffle to be working in a almost public service lens where you just want to help people, but have to think about, okay, but I have to charge people to help them and they're vulnerable. And so that's always a point of tension for me. But I think the thing over the last year and a half that's really kept me up at night is, oh, I might get emotional. I'm not going to get emotional. Um, I wonder if I'm doing the best job at leadership for my team that I can do. Am I
Hmm.
helping them really grow in the ways that they want to grow? Are we actually helping people? Um, how can I be better? How can I nurture people in a way that isn't micromanagey or like how can I both trust what and who they are as professionals while still holding some sort of standards within my bit? Like it's all of those kinds of questions. Really leadership, I think. I struggle with the term boss. Oof, I don't like that term. It feels very derogatory to me.
I'm glad.
Yeah, it's
I'm
not my
glad.
jam.
It's not. No. Um, it's not mine either.
Yeah,
So thank you for that. So leadership, and I've been talking about this more recently, leadership is heavy.
yeah,
But people don't realize that. It can be lonely. It can be very heavy because people are relying on us. A boss, I mean, if you're a boss, it's heavy too, but it's different, right? There's a different
yeah,
feel to it. Me,
mhm,
boss, you employee, I tell you what to do, you do it.
yeah,
I'm the boss.
Ugh.
Buck stops with me,
Yeah,
right? Check your attitude at the door, Missy. Buck stops
yeah,
with me. Just get the
yeah,
work done, all that kind of stuff. Leadership, though, is people are relying on us. People are relying on us, um, our clients, our family, our clients, our people, our team.
yeah.
What do you do, if anything, to I know we talked about some books you've read in the past on
Yeah.
leadership, and have they helped? Like, what else do you do to maybe alleviate a little bit of the oi?
They've helped. I mean, we talked about am I allowed to say the names of them on the
Absolutely.
air? I don't
Yeah,
know how
yeah,
that all works, but
yeah.
the Patrick Lencioni series, that's been incredibly helpful in terms of um I love that it's a parable at first and then he gives this what you're supposed to get from it at the end. But there's a lot of freedom in figuring out who you are as a leader and what pitfalls to look out for and how to build your team.
Mm,
And how to like I love the working genius. We use that a lot where we find out the strengths of each member of the team, their working geniuses. And now when we work on projects, we just make sure we have people from each working genius on the team so that it goes from start to finish without me having to manage everything because I've learned I'm not a galvanizer. Like
mm,
I'll take care of my own stuff, but I trust you to take care of yours. I'm not gonna hold hand you through it. You're a professional, do it. Right. Um, and then I think it's Kim Scott with Radical Candor. That one was a great one in terms of how to communicate feedback and that it's
mm,
not mean to actually give feedback that might be construed as negative. And then the Jim Collins stuff with
mm.
your hedgehog and we've really been working on that over the last year and a half. So I do a lot of reading to try to alleviate my nerves about it. And now that I've found things that seem to align with who I am as a person and who I want to be as a leader, there's relief in that. Also from the Lencioni books, we now have a strategic team and a tactical team. So we don't have meetings just to say, hey, we're having a meeting and you're just spinning your wheel. We're about to have a strategic meeting to talk about, okay, what is elite client care? We're the policy people. And then anything that we actually need built, we send to the tactical team and they build it for us. because that's their strength. So that helps in terms of leadership. We have weekly meetings for like 20 minutes to a half hour where we just touch base. Um, we talk about the ideal team player concepts and make sure that we're heading down that road. But with all of that said, I don't know that anything actually completely takes away the worry about it,
Mhm.
because I do feel a little bit like a mama to her kids. I feel that emotion again, right? Because I feel really protective of my team. They've been with me, many of them, through all the mistakes I've made and still stuck it out with me.
Mhm.
So there's a loyalty there, right? Like, what do you do? I mean, how do you manage?
You can't ask me questions. This is my podcast.
Listen, like for me, it's about
Yeah.
imposter syndrome. How do you deal with the imposter syndrome?
Yeah. No, you know what? First off, okay, with what you said, I don't know if it ever gets easier.
Mhm.
The oi of that part, the heaviness and the worrying. I remember my mom saying to me, um, and I moved out when I was 18. She moved to Calgary. She got remarried, moved to Calgary. I decided I'm staying in Winnipeg. Why? I don't
Wow.
know. Yeah, I know. A couple years later, I was on Vancouver, so it's okay. But so I was on my own early, like years before any of my friends. And she would always call, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" or whatever. I said, "Mom, I'm like 18. I'm Mom, I'm 19. Mom, I'm 24. I'm okay." She goes, "Honey, I'll never stop worrying about you."
Yeah.
And even on her deathbed, like I'm sorry, whatever. But even in her last days in the hospital, she was more concerned about all of us. And she knew she was going. She was ready
Yeah.
that we were going to be okay, and that my
Yeah.
kids were going to be okay, and all this stuff. She was not going to go until she knew we were okay.
Yeah.
I
Same with my
remember,
mom. It's funny how that works
yeah.
out. Yeah.
And I remember I think our first trip, me and my wife, when the kids were young, we went to I think it was Vegas for the weekend or for a few days, and my in-laws were staying with the kids, and
Oh, wow.
I remember like I felt it. Like I
Yeah.
remember saying to my wife, I know what my mom meant. Like we're away, we're supposed to be having fun, we're supposed to be having this. I'm constantly thinking about them, worrying about them,
Always in the back of your mind.
always in the back of
It's
my
like
mind.
always there.
Now
Yeah.
my son's away at university. Thank God for Find My Friend on the phone because
Yeah.
I
Uh-huh.
he's on it and he knows, right? Just so it makes me feel
Yeah.
better that I know where he is, even though he's in Kingston, which is like everything is like within like 5 blocks of each other. But
But still, like you just want to know that he's okay.
yes. And trust me, I know as a leader, that's a leader of a family, I know as a leader of a business, when I had my employees in my
Yeah.
sign company, especially through the pandemic, like there were like I was up like sleepless nights and
Yeah.
worrying about um, how we're going to do this and how I'm going to be able to keep them like through the pandemic, right?
Yeah.
And because that's the same thing, they were with me. One of them was with me till the end, like 26 years, and
Wow.
another one for
Yeah.
15. So similar to you, like right, loyalty.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know if it ever gets easier that way, less worry. Um, you mentioned imposter syndrome, though,
Yeah. Well, first I need to acknowledge that that wasn't the answer I wanted to hear.
right?
You were supposed to tell me it gets easier. Just giving you that tip.
But this is the stern
It's
truth.
the truth. I know. Okay,
Okay.
fine.
Okay.
Fine. I'll just go rock in the corner about it later. But yes, imposter syndrome. Yes.
How does it show up for you?
It shows up in many ways. So I think because a part of me really doesn't view myself as a leader, I feel sometimes like I'm wearing somebody else's clothes.
Mm,
It's like, oh, this doesn't quite fit. But what I try to do is lean into those moments where it doesn't fit and reflect on what makes it not fit. What is it that I need to tweak so that it feels more like me? Um, and then as a psychologist, I think because of the way I practice from a very humanistic, existential, emotional lens. I want to be very, very genuine. And so sometimes it feels less clinical skill and more like, oh, well, I'm not sure what happened in that session. So you feel a little bit, I mean, things happen and the client's able to communicate that, but you feel like, well, but I was just me. So if I'm just being me as a leader, quote unquote, but I don't view myself as a leader, then it feels really fake. And it feels like I'm supposed to be doing something else. I think language is loaded and we hear words like boss or leader
yes.
or
Yes. Yeah.
whatever, and we get this picture. And
Y-
I just wonder.
Okay. But I have another question for you, Kim, on this whole leadership thing. What do you think? What do you think leadership is?
I could give you a sarcastic answer, but I
No,
won't.
I'd love to. No, sarcastic is good. What do you think it
Anything
is?
that I'm not doing? No. That's just self-depreciation. I think leadership, honestly, is the ability to build leadership capacity in your team, that it doesn't all have to fall to you, and that it's your job to let your team shine while you handle the ick underneath and kind of keep the foundation strong so that they can grow and shine and all of those things. Yeah, to me that's leadership. And I also don't think, or I hope, because I'm not sure I've been in this situation, I don't think I would ask my team to do anything that I wouldn't be willing to
Mhm.
do myself.
Yeah.
So sometimes we have to look at ethics and revamp our programming and things like that. Um, and it can make processes more difficult, like more time consuming. Well, but I'm not going to change that and make it more time consuming if A, it doesn't work for the client or the field, and B, if I wouldn't be willing to do it myself. So I'm thinking specifically of our youth process.
Right.
So, but
Okay, but
what
here's
is
the
it
thing.
to you though? You can't skip this question. What is it to you?
Oh, no, I agree with everything you said, 100%. Because that's the textbook, the real textbook definition of
Mm,
what leadership is. I believe in, because there's other
mm.
stuff. But to me, um, leadership, I always say this, and my kids go, huh? Leadership is I always say leadership is the things you're doing when you don't think anyone else is watching.
Yeah, I've heard that said before too.
No, I said that. No one
Okay.
else said
Yes.
that. No one else
Well,
said
it
that.
might have come from you and
It
I
came
didn't
from
know
me.
that.
I must have said it, and someone else copied
I
it. If Simon Sinek said
got
it,
it
it's
on
because he
Pinterest
got
somewhere. So it's from
it
you
was,
and I
it
didn't know it.
was on a coffee mug. That was from um
Mm. Okay.
maybe I heard it somewhere. But
Well,
that's what I
so
yeah.
what are some of the things though that a leader does when people aren't watching?
Okay. I'll tell you what I believe they do. And I was
Okay.
taught this actually way, way back. One of my first jobs, I worked in an automobile dealership. Okay.
Mm.
It was actually my
Okay.
dad's dealership. I was young, I was like 19. And the parts manager sat me down one time and he said, and I was there in my little suit, people like whatever. I was like 19 in the suit and tie and everything. And the parts manager sat me down. He goes, I want to just, he didn't call it leadership. He said, I'm going to give you some advice. He was trying
Yeah.
to be a mentor to me, kind of, right?
Yeah.
And he said, if you want to make it in any business, always be the first person in a meeting. Always be the person to go to the meeting, set up the table, set up the chairs, take the handouts if there's handouts, and put them in front of every chair. Don't wait for anyone to ask you.
Yeah.
Do it.
Oh,
Stay late, put the chairs back. Always.
yeah.
Always. That is an example of leadership.
Mhm.
Okay. Problem is, I think, for a lot of people, when I'm a leadership coach in disguise. That's where my
Mhm.
training was with John Maxwell years ago. And I don't talk about it with small business owners a lot because they don't get it. I'm a leader. Like they don't get it that they need to be a leader. Like you do because you've been reading the books, you've been drinking the
Mhm.
Kool-Aid, but a lot of people don't. So because it's a word, they think of it as a
That's
position.
true. True. I notice that dichotomy in my head though sometimes too, where um leadership just feels like a word, but then it's what it's more tangible than that, but it's hard to explain.
It's an
Like I feel
adjective.
like leadership is hard to explain. It's like a feeling too. It's not just the definition of actions, it's a sense of ownership, I think, in a way, or responsibility. I don't know,
I,
but
I,
it
will-
that
I
felt sense to me.
okay. So here's where I'm going to push back on.
Sweet.
Okay, sounds like a
Yeah.
coach, feels like a coaching session, but so if I can, let me push back on that because
Yeah,
I think it's
yeah.
one. I think it's one of the areas maybe that maybe you might want to rethink what you think of leadership or how you think of
Okay.
your role.
Yeah.
Because I think if we think of it as a role or as a position or even a
Yeah.
feeling,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, for sure, imposter syndrome. Okay, how am I a leader? How am I this? Leadership is a thing. Sorry,
Keep
leadership is
going.
not just a thing.
Yeah.
Leadership is everything. Okay. But leadership is an action. Leadership is what you are doing. So if you talk about your team, if you are empowering your team,
Yeah.
you're developing them as leaders, which you've already said. Like that's what you're doing. You're doing.
Yeah.
So you're doing it. So whether you if you want to think, well, leader, I feel imposter. Well, but you're doing it. The proof is in the pudding. You're actually doing it.
Hmm.
Okay.
I agree. I agree from
Okay.
a logic brain
I know.
space.
I'm gonna ask
From
you
an
why.
emotion brain space,
I
it's an like I wonder about the identity piece.
identity.
Like
Right.
you're right that it's leadership comes out in the actions, but I think that there's also and I think there's also an aspect that um leadership is also in who you are, like how you approach life.
Yes. Yes. But again, if you're putting a word to it, am I a leader? That there's an answer to that. You can say yes or no. Am I stepping up as a lead? Am I stepping up as a leader? But here's the thing. Um, if I may add,
Absolutely. Yeah.
and this I got actually from a therapist,
Okay.
okay,
Okay.
years ago.
Yeah.
When dealing with people, and you probably use something similar, when dealing with people with anxiety, when they're thinking, oh, the word, this is going to happen.
Yeah.
She said there are three questions to ask yourself. Number one, is this true? Number two, is this really true?
Hmm.
And number three, do I have proof?
Right. Hmm.
Okay. So whenever we're doubting ourselves, three questions.
Yeah.
I'm a shitty leader. Am I a good leader? Am I really a good leader? Is this really true? Is this true? Yeah, I'm not. I don't know. Maybe I'm not a good leader. Maybe I'm not cut out for this. Right? Is it really true?
Yeah.
And do I have proof? And where's the proof?
Right.
And where's the proof the other way? So
Yeah.
a lot of it, I know it's logical. You're trying to get away from the emotional to logical.
As a therapist, completely agree with you. That's a great strategy.
However,
I think we just need to get rid of language.
yeah,
Like, what do we need the label for?
yeah.
And I get it. It's so that we can communicate with each other and have a shared language and really understand each other. I find it so much easier for myself when I just focus on the actions, like you're saying, where I just focus on the actions and I don't focus on the label of it. Because the minute there's a label, my biases, my preconceived notions of what that is supposed to look like come into play, and my behavior changes. Even though
Mm,
I'll have proof that what I'm doing is working for my team. It's these old images. So I guess it's competing with outdated teachings of what leadership looks like,
yeah.
right? And that's competing with who I am because I never thought I'd be doing this. I thought I was going to be teaching for the rest of my life. And then I gave my head a shake at 10 years and went, when am I can't do this. It's killing me. So, pivoting and doing this, then I never thought I'd be leading a team. So there's a lot of, I guess that's the other important thing about leadership, though, is to be able to be self-reflective
Hmm.
and be willing to challenge yourself or find people and bring people into your life that will challenge you.
Yes. Yes.
Like I appreciate these kinds of discussions because it does make me go, huh, yep, that's a bias I need to work on.
Yes. Well, that'll require 10 sessions with me and we'll get you fixed up.
Perfect.
Just
Perfect.
call my office in the morning and book your
Yeah.
session.
Hey, about that, I cried all night, Dr. Marshall.
Um, but it is true. And we do put and the label part of it, right? And I know we've kind of gone off
Yeah.
topic, but this is okay because
Yeah.
there are a lot of people out there. It's why I don't call myself a leadership coach
Mhm.
because it is a word.
Yeah.
But everything I do with my clients, it's all around leadership. It's all having them step into the role and the actions of what a leader does for themselves, for their family, for their team, for their community.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, one thing that we were talking about before, I think, was the importance of resilience. I've given that
Yes.
a lot of thought after we spoke previously, was you've got to be able as a leader to pivot and recognize when you've been knocked down to your knees and figure out, okay, how am I going to get back up? Like this isn't over. How do I get back up? So, and that's again where the leadership coach or other people can help you with that. It also has to come from within. So how do you build your resilience? How do you encounter difficult situations and believe I can do this?
100%. And the one thing I do with my clients is, and you might even do this with your clients, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Is that we have to change. You talk about use the word identity
Yeah.
before, okay?
Mhm.
And we all have an identity, and we all have a sort of everyone has an identity they want to change to or improve or become.
Mhm.
right? So what I do is I have this exercise called the old versus the new,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Okay.
So it's what does, like in this case, what now not calling you old because I'm a lot older than you,
No, that's
but what
fine.
is the old Kim, and there's nothing wrong with the old Kim,
The former Kim.
the former
Okay.
Kim. Okay, I'll change my terminology
Yeah,
to that. The
it's all
former
good.
Kim,
Yeah.
the artist formerly known as, what how does she show up in these different situations? What are
Mhm.
her action steps? What are her responses, right? Versus the new Kim or the whatever you want to call it,
Kim
right? Kim
2.0.
Kim 2.0, Kim 2
Yeah.
1.0, 2.0. And
Yeah.
that's where it's more the qualities and how you respond, the resilience, the
Mhm.
being resourceful, all of the
Yeah.
leaderish kind of stuff that we're talking about.
But I think that speaks to what you were saying earlier about finding the proof. When you do that former versus current, or
Yes.
however you want to frame it, what you're really doing is saying over the course of your life,
Hmm.
where have you shown up?
Yeah.
And so you're gathering all these instances of proof or overcoming difficult situations, and you're building that narrative in the person's head about, wait a minute, you got this.
Yeah.
Like you
Yeah.
just got to slow down and take a hot minute, regroup, and go kick some butt.
Yeah. Yeah. No, 100%.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Where does that
I
lead
don't
us?
know. Where were we? All right. Okay. I don't even know where we were. Um, what's
Mhm.
what's one thing
Yeah.
that, okay, how do I put this? Earlier, Kim,
Yes. No,
when
that's
you're
fine. You
starting
can
out,
call it old Kim. That's fine.
no, earlier, younger, what is one thing
Yeah.
that your younger self you
Yeah.
wish you had known then that you know now when you started your practice that maybe would have prepared you better or made it easier?
There's a few, but I think there's something that my former therapist used to say to me all the time. And it was a quote by Goethe. And it's when you trust yourself, then you will know how to live. And
Mm,
that's what I think I would tell myself, because depending on where you're at in whatever situation, that phrase can take on a different meaning for you. But it comes back to if I just unlock my heart, it will lead me to where I actually need to go. So trust myself because my motives are pure. And it might not always be perfect, but I can fix it, right?
okay.
But I have to at least try.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay. 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 Before we wrap up, we love golden nuggets. And
Oh my God, it's that time already.
I know. Might have to have you back for version 2.0
Woohoo.
or the second round. Um, we love golden nuggets. We
Okay.
love the stern truths. Is there one for people listening? Maybe they're doubting their leadership.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. One piece of advice, one golden nugget you might want to partake onto them.
That if you're worrying about it, you're probably a better leader than you realize,
Hmm.
right? Because if you're not worrying about it, then do you really care? Like if
Ooh,
it's not on your mind, you're not reflecting and you're not seeking and you're not trying to grow. So are you leading? So if you're worrying about it, you're doing just fine.
absolutely love that.
And if you worry too much, come see me.
Yeah. We'll put your,
Shameless plug.
that's right. Well, no, we will put your contact information down below. Your clients are all in person or virtual or both?
Well, the clinic, we can see both. I
Okay,
tend to limit mine to being in person just because of how I practice.
right.
Um, but yes, as long as you are living in Alberta, then
Yeah.
we can see you. So
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we'll put your contact info in the show notes anyways.
Thank you.
And honestly, I've thoroughly enjoyed this. This has been amazing. I didn't even know we were going to go down this road.
No, but that's
Leaders,
like you said, that's the cool part of it.
that's the cool part of it. Cool part of it. And it's more than just it's the always, right? It's more than just about
Yeah.
leadership, but it's about just things being heavy and everything being on us.
Yeah.
Whether you have a team or you're doing it yourself. Just because you hire a team, and that's why I want people like just because you hire employees or you hire contractors or
Mhm.
subcontractors doesn't mean all of a sudden everything's great.
No.
In fact, it can be even heavier because now you have all of these responsibilities.
Yeah.
It's how you manage it. It's how you step into
Yeah.
that L word.
I heard somewhere that just because you have a team working with you, it doesn't mean that they work for you. You actually work for them. And that's how I try to approach it.
That, my friends,
Right.
is leadership. All right.
Okay. Well, I
Thank you
hope
so much.
everyone takes care of themselves and thank you so much. I love that you challenged me and this is such a great conversation. I'm going to take a lot from it. So thank you.
Awesome. Call my office in the morning. Okay.
I will.
And for the rest of you, love to hear your feedback, your comments, your insights, and obviously give us a 5-star or whatever review, because other people will then, that's my plug, will then find this episode. And we'll see you again next week on another episode of The Stern Truth, Business Unfiltered. Thank you so much for tuning in to The Stern Truth. If you found today's episode helpful, we would love to hear from you. Please like, share, and leave us a review. Also, if you'd like to be a guest in an upcoming episode or join us in one of our Momentum Accountability Group sessions, simply email me to marshall@marshallstern.net. That's marshallstern.net. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Until next time, keep pushing forward and leading with confidence.